Gio thinks he gets the music today, so he says. We'll see. Yes, caller. Hello.
Hey, good morning. This is Andy Crowner.
Hey, what's up?
Just getting ready for Thanksgiving, so going to make one more run to the store, so I'm hoping it's not crazy.
You know what? I've noticed this week it has been just a little bit crazy at the store. I think despite the circumstances, shall we say, people are still trying to put on at least a good meal out of the deal.
Yeah, we still do family dinner every Sunday night. It's a small gathering, but, our clan stays together, so we're just having our usual group for Thanksgiving, not really expanding it this year, but looking forward to the day off and a day of games. Right
on. With you there. There are all kinds of ways to say that none of us is necessarily going to be here next Thanksgiving. I don't mean that as gloom and doom as it sounds, but just as a fact. So you got to live, you got to live for this Thanksgiving in some way, shape, and form, right?
You do. And, as an elected official, we do have that responsibility on our shoulders to try to tell people to distance and wear masks and not hang together. But you also have that part of that heartstring that gets pulled on that you still need to see your loved ones and live your life. And so we got to try to find our middle of that somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. In a political sense, people are not allowing for any middle ground here, which is weird. We can do both things. We can, still have a Thanksgiving that is not exactly normal, but still a Thanksgiving. We can do all the things they recommend, and we can, live our lives at the same time. But
you have to look at the schools and see, hey, we've been putting hundreds of kids together here for months, and while our numbers have spiked, our numbers inside of our schools have not really spiked. And I think that's a good lesson to look at and see it as possible.
Exactly. This is Andy Crowner, City of West Burlington, and also RE/MAX Realtor, a man of many hats. But the last week you stunned us on the show with the discussion about a water rate increase because of the imminent need for a new water tower. So where do we stand on that?
Yeah, we had our meeting last week, and we'll have another one next week. And we didn't make any decisions last week. We just kind of discussed options. We asked our city manager and accounting folks to go back and give us a few more options. But any way you slice it, at the moment, we have to pay for the water tower. That money's not sitting there. It's not readily available. We've got to raise some taxes to do it, one way or the other. And since it is an infrastructure project under the water system, then, raising water rates is what makes the most sense. It's nothing I want to do. If you know my political philosophy at all, it's definitely not to raise fees and taxes.
Right.
It's to plan ahead, but that was not done, and the project needs to be done. That water tower does not function, and we need a new one. So right at the moment, we're looking at, either a 35% increase next year, which would be all of it, or we could split that half and half over 2 years, but that does cost us some money to do that. Or we could kind of stair-step it over those 2 years and do, 10% one time, and 6 months later do 15% and something like that.
Right. We had a similar thing over to Burlington where we had a big water rate increase. I think more than 1 year, if my memory serves. But big increases coming. Does nobody, as you mentioned last week, it's such a logical thing to say, okay, even upon the ribbon cutting for the new water tower, knowing that it's going to last whatever the time frame is, whatever they tell you, 35 years or something, we need to start now for the planning so we don't have a 35% water increase in 35 years, price. We need to start now knowing that its lifespan is this long and get some planning ahead so that we don't get in this situation again. Is nobody sort of okay with that sort of logic or what?
Yeah, that is very illogical to many people. They really don't plan ahead. They don't, at this point in time, I'll be honest, we don't even have a list of items that need replaced, of vehicles that need replaced, of roofs, things at the pool, city streets, those kind of things. I need those in order to budget and plan for the city. I need a list of all the things that we need to budget and plan for and their expected lifespan. And
Right.
honestly, we set that as a main priority this year for our city manager, and I haven't heard back once on it. So I've been kind of raising that question multiple times here. It's time to get on it and start planning, because otherwise we're going to have something else hit us in the face like this.
Right. Otherwise, you're constantly reacting, never proactive. And then that's a bad situation to be in, because, we've all been there in our younger days of our first time home ownership, if I can segue over to that a little bit. When you first own a home, you're stretching to make payments on an order that you haven't ever before, probably. And, you're not putting away money for a new roof. You're not putting away money for that 20-year-old water heater. You're not, you just have it's your first time. You just don't know. And you start getting these things, start getting behind the eight ball as things need to be repaired, replaced. And you learn over your lifetime, as being an adult tends to teach you, you know what? I'm going to have to start taking a look at the lifespans of these parts that are critical to a home and home ownership, and get some money socked away for that purpose. I mean, there's not a water heater yet that has lasted your lifetime. So let's say appliances, whatever the case may be. I think we know this in our personal lives, right?
And we've been lucky so far. We have a great tax base for a small town, and previous councils have put enough money away to cover major items that needed done, and taken some loans out in areas that did come up when they became a priority, but that's just not what I believe. I think we need to plan for it, and sometimes accidents do still happen. Something will break before it's supposed to, but at least we have a general plan for the city that we can use going forward, and that's what I would like to see done.
Right. This is Andy Crowner from andycrowner.com, the City of West Burlington council member as well. Neighbors Helping Neighbors, what's that? That came up at the council?
Yeah, that is a new program spearheaded by Councilperson Kathy Christie. It is a program to assist seniors and people with disabilities with shoveling snow and cutting grass, so physical labor that they cannot do at this point in their lives. And if we have volunteers in West Burlington that are willing to help those people, we just are putting together a program to match those people up. The city is going to be involved in the matching process, and we'll also run background checks on both parties to try to ensure some level of safety. So you can go to westburlington.org and sign up for that if you need help, or if you want to volunteer, you can go on there as well. And just a nice little program that Kathy Christie's put together. I think it'll be a nice thing for our city.
It's on the landing page at westburlington.org if you'll scroll down just a little bit. And that's a really great thing. We've lobbied for that in the Parks Department here in Burlington and stuff at different times over the years when budgets are what they are. There are any number of people that absolutely would love to do the meaningless tasks around the parks and whatever, whether it be picking up trash or, in the case of this particular thing, helping an elderly neighbor cut the grass or move the snow. That's really great. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah, I think it's a nice program. And I wanted to mention, too, we also have a program we don't talk about very much, but if you bag your leaves and set them out on the curb on Mondays, the City Works Department will pick those up for you, so you don't have to go out to the dump or out to the drop-off. So that's pretty much every Monday morning this time of year during the fall. I don't have the actual dates in front of me, but I've done it a few times. It's pretty slick.
Also, right next to that on the website is the place to register your cameras with the police department, your security cameras. I did it last week while you were telling me about it. It took no amount of time. And if you have security cameras, they of course, and you register it, they have no access to the cameras or anything like that. But should a crime go down somewhere in the background of where your camera is or on your street, you may have valuable video saved that they could need to find the perpetrator. So, for instance, a car going by just moments before your neighbor gets robbed, something like that, or people walking by, this kind of thing. So we did that here for our cameras out here. and encourage you people in West Burlington to do that if you have Ring cameras or other security cameras there on that website as well, right?
Yeah, think of it as the new form of the neighborhood watch. You know, it's always there, always watching. If something happens in your area, the police can reach out to you for that. They don't have access to it. We had about 30 people sign up already, so 30 cameras signed up. Hope to see some more. I think that's a great program. Helps keep our neighborhood more safe. So please go ahead and do that if you're getting a Ring doorbell this Christmas, something like that. That's a good thing to do is go up, sign up for that.
Can we switch over to real estate now, or is there anything else that happened of note at the council meeting?
We had no movement on a few things. We approved a lot of public hearings, things like that. So I think we're good to move on for this week.
Excellent. I had mentioned to you about the first time we needed a new roof on the first home that I owned. I just was not prepared for what turned out to be a really expensive fix. Roofs, because of the labor involved and the materials, are running the thousands of dollars even on a very modest house, and just wasn't ready for that. You have some discussion about the renovation items, including new roofing, new flooring, this kind of thing, HVAC, and how likely you would be to recoup these renovation projects before selling your home or when selling your home. Or there's probably some logic that you could lay on us about not doing it. I have this argument with my wife all the time. Who wants to do our kitchen. Our kitchen is the same way it was the day we moved in there in the 80s, and it's a disaster. But I don't want to, put a new kitchen in there that's going to be something that the next person is not going to like. In my mind, I feel like I could leave an allowance for that or something. What is a good way to sort these things out, in your opinion?
Yeah, I get asked by a lot of people where I'm, looking at listing their home for sale. Should I renovate the kitchen? Should I change this bathroom? Those kind of things. And in general, the answer is you should probably not do a renovation project just to sell your home. There are a few cases where it may work out in your favor, but in general, you should not do that just to sell it. And so then the question becomes, okay, if I want to put some money into my home to enjoy this, what will be the best items to put money into where I still get the money back out later, I think is the good way to look at that. So the best investments you can put in your home to enjoy now and get more money out of it when you sell it. And we have some information from the National Association of Realtors on that. They do a nationwide study on that and figure out, okay, dollar per what you get back out of it. Number one would be a new roof. So they estimate that you get about 107% of your investment back out of putting a new roof on your property. So that would be the number one thing. If you want to make an improvement to your house, a new roof would be it.
So a new roof would be worth doing, you're saying?
You got it. Yep. You should see more money back out of your house for that roof investment. So if you put a $5,000 roof on, you should see a $5,500 increase in your price of your home.
I see. All right. And what are the other?
That's easy to see as a realtor when I'm showing houses. People look at major items like that, as like a roof, and they do put it in the value of the home because they're seeing a price tag on it. If it looks like something they got to replace in the next 5 years, they're seeing that cost.
What about if we're talking about like we're in meetings with the Tenderfoot Carpet sponsor about flooring, and we want to do some flooring? Is that one of those things that's a good payback?
Those are the other two items that you actually do get your money back on, and it's specific to wood. So new wood flooring or refinishing hardwood flooring, original in the house, those items will also get you back the money that you put in them when you go to sell the property.
And then some. So, looks like.
Wood flooring and a roof are really the investments where you get your money back out.
And what are the ones that aren't?
Yeah, if you look, kind of the next couple on the list, so you still get a majority of your funds back out. A new garage door, they're saying will add about 95%. Obviously, that's a smaller dollar item,
right?
But you do get the money back out of that. HVAC replacement, so doing your AC, your heater, water heater, those kind of things, you get about 85% back on those. Those are a good investment. I agree with that. Again, showing houses to buyers every day. They go in, and that's some of the major items I look at when they're deciding on a house is what is the overall cost of that? Do I need to replace this furnace in the next couple of years? After that, there's a couple more. So the insulation upgrade, 83%. New fiber cement siding, which is something we don't see as often here, 76% back on that. If you compare that to vinyl siding, you do not get as much back on that these days.
You do not get as much back on vinyl siding as you do on fiber cement?
You got it, yeah. Fiber cement siding right now is, in terms of nationwide, you're getting more dollars back on that. You're getting about a 13% increase back in your investment on that. So,
how smart am I? I just did that last year. Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't do it for that reason. I just simply had to do it. My siding was so bad, so bad. What about windows? People can spend a fortune on windows. And a lot of times, if you have crappy windows in there, it'll hurt your curb appeal.
Yeah, and so new vinyl windows is really the best option right now in terms of getting your money back. Wood is much lower, 71% on vinyl windows right now. And I think the other thing to look at on that, because this doesn't calculate that in, this is talking about when you sell it, but you're going to save money during the years that you have that home with those windows too. And I think that's the same when we talk about the HVAC replacement. If you get something that's a lot, newer and uses less energy than your old 1980s furnace, you're going to save money on that too. So those are good investments, even if you're going to stay in your home.
Excellent. So, do I or don't I? It's the easy way to remember all this is like this, andycrowner.com. That's the super easy way. If you didn't catch all those stats, andycrowner.com is your one-stop for Andy and all the things that he knows. There's lots of guides and tips and things you can download and get free on there if you're a first-time home buyer or any of these kinds of things. Where are we at in the market right now? I know that you had that massive price reduction on that gorgeous house on Flint Crest. Is that the name of that road?
You got it, Flint Crest Drive,
yeah.
Down the river, down south, lowered from $799 to $699. Just a beautiful house. And in terms of the market, one thing I'm seeing, we actually had quite a few homes listed in the last month. And so if you look at the market, there's a decent amount of properties on right now. I want to say like 230 in the county. But if you really dive into that, probably 50 or 60 of those are actually under contract. So the real number is like at 170, which is really low for our area. I know pretty much every realtor we have in RE/MAX has got 10, 20 buyers, and that's more than we have homes on the market today just in our one office.
Wow. How about that? All right. What else? Before we got about a minute left. What have I left out that's important to know in either case today?
I want to say happy Thanksgiving, but let's put some meaning behind it this year. I think we really need to think about our public workers, our police, and our fire department who are out there every day. I know we've had quite a few out with COVID, unfortunately, and with family members out with COVID, and they're really trying hard for us this year, so we need to really appreciate them. And if you see them this year, right now our fire department's out doing some Toys for Tots drives, so please stop and thank them for their service for us. We pay them with our tax dollars, but they're on the front lines every day dealing with people and doing things we don't necessarily really want to do. So our firemen, our police, our public workers, and of course our healthcare workers, we really need to be thankful for them this year.
Awesome. Good. That's a good message to end on. Thanks so much. And for all of your family, would you extend my Thanksgiving best wishes as well?
I will. And happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody listening.
Thank you, Andy. Good to hear from you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Right. There's Andy Crowner from West Burlington and RE/MAX Realty. He can be found at andycrowner.com or on Facebook if that's your preferred way. Just search Andy Crowner. He'll come right up.
8:30 KCPS quick news break.